So, we were chatting earlier that you were in a smaller location and then you were in there for 3 years, and then a year and a half ago you moved into this bigger location. What has this bigger location allowed you to do by moving in here?
It's allowed me to get more merchandise, more consigners bringing their items in, more shoppers, but just allowed us to spread out so we can display, and so people can walk around, that they're not feeling like they're in a tight little box, to be able to see what's going on, to see across the room and see all the different things that we've got going on.
So when you were thinking of opening up Absolutely Her, I'm sure you had a conception of what it was going to be like to be a small business owner. How true to form has that remained?
Not even close. Not even close. TV makes it look so like it's so easy. You can pop in and out and go solve crimes and do everything else. But no, it's
35 hours a week, or?
Yeah. I probably am here about 12 to 15 or more hours a day, almost every single day, or even the days that we're closed, I'm here, just because there's so much to get done. It never stops. Clothes come in constantly, and they have to be out on the floor. I want them out on the floor by the next day. And so some days when we get hit with 500 to 1,000 or more, someone's got to tag it.
So besides the crazy hours, I mean, what's something else that you've learned that you think somebody who is interested in starting a retail business, what's one piece of advice? I'm sure there's hundreds of pieces of advice, but what would be one key piece of advice you would give?
To understand the accounting part of it, understand the budgeting part of it, understanding the numbers game. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I just kind of, hey, I've got money in the bank, we're doing good. What's the heck? But actually sitting down now and learning my numbers and how everything affects everything else. Just because I have money in the bank doesn't mean that, we have money to go spend on all these different things. So, and it's understanding the reports that QuickBooks will pull out. I didn't get it. Sometimes I still don't get it. But that's the biggest thing, is I wish I would have gone to classes ahead of time to understand why I needed to know these numbers, what these numbers were going to do for me, and how they were going to teach me what I can and can't do, or what I should and shouldn't do. Not can and can't, because I could do anything, but they're the ones that, the numbers, the reports that I get are the ones that tell me I could expand, or I should have stayed where I was. I mean, and they said, yep, you're good to go. I mean, I even took the numbers, I went to two bank guys, some other people that I kind of trusted, and said, do you think that I have, here it is, laid it all out. Do you think that I have what it takes to move into a bigger space? My expenses are going to go through the roof compared to what I pay now. But understanding that, that's the biggest advice I would give anybody, is figure out the accounting part, what it means.
So, I mean, it's great to dream and be kind of stuck in that idea of, I'm going to have my own store and there's going to be this stuff, but also realize you have to be able to manage those numbers and know where your money's going, and so you can invest it properly, because like you said, if you wouldn't have been able to digest that information, maybe you would still be stuck in that smaller space and unable to grow. Right. Because, speaking of growing, I mean, you've grown here, but I assume, do you have plans for Absolutely Her? Is that top secret information?
It's not top secret. I've always had plans. It's just the direction I want to go. I want to expand. I don't know if it's franchising that I want to do, or just put another location. I have people that want me to go out west. I have people that want me to go east, to Midtown, to downtown, especially out west. But I have other ideas that I want to do that would help more women than just me planning a second store.
Let's talk about that. What do you envision your role in that?
Just, when I started, I didn't really have anybody that really told me what to do, or told me what I should look for, or told me how to think like a business owner. I just thought I was going to come in and play store, kind of. The creative part of it was easy, but it was all the other stuff. And I didn't have anybody that really was there to show me the way. And so by doing what I want to do with Absolutely Her, I would be able to help other women to kind of guide them and say, okay, is this, this could be your repercussions of what you do. Is this what you want to do, or
Like
is
a
this
good
the
mentor.
Yeah, is this the direction that you want to go? Because these are your downfalls, or these are the pitfalls you might hit, and be able to have someone tell me the truth, not just what I want to hear, because everybody will tell you what you want to hear, but very few people will tell you what you need to hear.
So when you were starting, you really didn't have that good mentor.
Not in the business side of it.
Okay.
No, I had the people that encouraged me, that said, "Yep, you can do this. You can do this. You've got this."
Which is equally important. I mean, you need that support.
I needed that. I needed someone to stand behind me and say, "Yep, go get them. You can do it. I got your back. I got your six." But it's someone that being able to just say, "Yeah, take this and do this, or take that and do that," and that's what I want to do with Absolutely Her, because it's absolutely her. Everything is just all about her, what she can do.
I think a big hurdle for people is writing that business plan, and I think that kind of speaks back to that business side of it, is like, well, what do I need a business plan for? And speak to the importance of that document and how you came to write yours.
I had no idea how to write a business plan, no clue. And so, Business Plan for Dummies, the best book you could probably buy. And then there was another book that I had that had a CD in it. So I basically followed the CD. It gave you examples on what to write. But then I had to do all the research to figure out what I'm going to plug into these sections. And so when I did all the research, I was spent every day at the library for about a month and a half is what it ended up to be. I looked up everything I could find out about it, all the stats, why men's clothes don't sell. We had that conversation. But why women's will do so well, when men's will have a hard time. And so I went through that. I learned so much just by watching other stores and seeing what they were doing and how they were kind of coming around. And then there was one gal that actually kind of wrote the manual on how to do a consignment store. So I followed her really well.
So by writing that business plan, did you learn things that you didn't know?
I learned things that I had never even thought about thinking about learning. It's one of those, you don't know what you don't know. And so I took all of that and just digested everything, wrote everything down, and just put it into this plan and made it very straightforward on what I wanted to do. And I put my goals in there for what I wanted to happen. And the goals were for me, the most important part. And I know that probably sounds silly, because you're like, there's all this other stuff, why are the goals important? But I knew that if I hit these goals within this time frame that I set for myself, then I had it going. Then I knew that this was going to be a success.
So have you revised those goals as you hit them?
Yes. The main goals are just like, I wanted to have like 2,000 customers by the end of my third year. Okay, well, I hit that in like a year and a half. And the most important was I wanted to be part of Best of Omaha. I wanted to win Best of Omaha, be in the top 3 by the end of my third year. Well, I got number 1 in second year. So that was like huge. Okay, what do you do after that, right? So my goals now are the expansion and where I want to take it. And that's more like a 10-year plan. What
about marketing as a small business?
That's the hardest thing for me. One of the hardest things. Where to put my money, where I'm gonna, things that work for our big stores, I don't have the money for it, or things that work for the big stores, for me they just, you can put a big ad in the newspaper, 10-page circular. Well, I can't do that, but so it's trying to figure out what to do. We've tried all kinds of things, a lot of print stuff, mailers, and haven't quite found the right thing yet.
You haven't found the winning combination.
No, and I don't know why it's so hard, except for social media. Social media is the best marketing that we've got, the best marketing tool for free.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things that I think anybody who's starting small needs to understand, is how all these different social media outlets, because they're all different.
It still takes time. I mean,
it takes a lot of time.
It's free, but you still have to have an acumen to what you're doing.
Yeah, and make it worthwhile. Make someone want to read it or see it, but marketing's tough.
What haven't we talked about that you feel would be important to cover?
I think it's important to find out how you fit as a small business in your community. How you fit, how you're going to make your mark. As far as, I don't think a small business could come in and just say, I'm here, come, come do whatever it is, get me your haircut here or whatever, or shop here. But you have to be willing to give back and give. We do a lot of stuff, and I don't say this because I want to tell people, all the great things that we do, but it's knowing that we're a part of this. I mean, when I started Absolutely Her, this is where I used to shop growing up. We didn't have, Shadow Lake and all that stuff. This was the shopping mall to go to. The grocery store, this was the craft store, Ben Franklin. We had a restaurant. Mr. Ed's was the clothing store just down there. So when I opened this and when I went to Hogan about it, I was like, this is where I want to be because this is where I grew up. And this is what's home to me. So I wanted to make sure that I stayed in Papillion, became an active part of Papillion. And I think you have to do that if you're going to be a small business owner, to be invested in where you are, not just because it's the best rent or the whatever. I think you have to have an ownership of it. And that's what makes it feel like home.
Like a family?
Like a family.
Yeah.
And with the employees too, like with Carrie and the other gals that work here, they know that this is a safe place. And the customers that come in, I told you, they think that this is like Cheers. They come in, they sit here, they grab the coffee. Sometimes there's cupcakes.
And the coffee's free.
And the coffee's free.
Just don't fill your pockets with K-Cups as you're leaving.
Exactly. Exactly. But it's just like making people feel comfortable, making them want to just come in, and making, no matter who walks in the door. And that's a totally another subject, but, people come in here all the time and they'll be like, oh, I look like heck, I shouldn't be shopping. I look so bad. I shouldn't be. Like, I don't care what you look like. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if you spend a dime in here. Because they'll try something on and I'll be like, no. And I'm very honest in a very nice way, but it's like, no.
Well, that's a service you offer.
But I don't want someone to think they have to buy something that they'll never wear just because it's going to make me happy. Well, that's not what's going to make me happy. What's going to make me happy is what we kind of talked about before, is knowing that when you walk out of here and you've got that outfit, you're going to feel beautiful. No matter what size you are, no matter if you've gained 20 pounds, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you feel good and you left with an experience. It wasn't just a go in, grab, and go. And I think that's what makes any small business special, not just, I don't know. It's just, you have to make a connection. You have to be honest. Because if you're not honest with them, then they're going to go out in something really ugly, and they're going to say they got it here, and I'm going to be like, oh no, you did not, please.
Well, if you're not honest, eventually that catches. Eventually they'll catch wind of that, and then
somebody will
you've
say,
lost that bond, because it's like you mentioned before. If you have a small family, that those are people are going to support you when you have those tough months, and maybe you want to close up shop. That's going to be your cheer section, and you need that. That's important.
Exactly.
Well, Angie, I appreciate the coffee and joining us here and giving me your time this evening.
Oh no.
And
thank you.
Thanks for being a part.
Love it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And thank you.